We'd love to see a push back down into here with a strong move back to the north. All right, another solid bounce off the strong range here. Took the low. Now let's drop in time frames. So you have an option here. This thing touches the strong and you want to be long off of that. Realize it's still counter, but it took the low, laddering back with a vengeance. Let this, or you can let it be the first ladder. You wait for the second. All right. If you want to be aggressive and take a long off the opening, not a horrible place to do that. It would be a first ladder though. Are they going to defend? All right, I'm long. That's a touch and go there, boys. Let's see if it holds. Are you going to hold? Are you going to hold? There we go. All right, if you got into this long, be protective. Very nice. Hands free. Let it go now. Let it go. Let it go. Very nice. You love when 8-point candles go your way. Heck yeah. Now squeeze the heck out of them. Now, this doesn't mean we're going to reverse and go 200 points up, but I got 2 contracts, and what I'm looking for is how much of a cushion can I give myself? And we can't be shocked if it comes all the way back on us, guys. We can't be shocked. Doesn't mean this is the 100-pointer. Nice touch and go, though. If you did multiple contracts and you were presented that 10-pointer, I hope you took it. And now you're green with just a runner. Bears are really in trouble above the overnight halfback. Okay, you're presented again with a 10-pointer if you didn't take anything off. Now try to keep a runner back. So if you took something off at 10 points, you can now have your runner in a negative position. You're still green on the day and you gave yourself a lottery ticket. There's nothing to do now. Beautiful, beautiful. Trading doesn't get easier than that. Oh my gosh. That's what we hope for. Trading doesn't get easier than that. Now just hold your single runner. If you did multiple contracts, peel off at 10, move the lotto runner to a minus position and just hold on. Let's see what happens. We still got several battles in front of us, but I believe we're in a really good trade here. And if you wanted to exit everything and take your 10, 20, 30 points, do it, but try to keep a runner. Let's have a little fun. Let's see if we can get a runner going. And we can stay behind protection levels. We know we're counter though, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with exiting everything at a 10-pointer and being done. But the risk of short covering is tremendously high, especially considering the last 2 days. We're against the top of this range. Just retraced most of that 200-pointer I did. And we're back long. It doesn't mean the bears cannot reclaim their dominance because they control. We're way below the bull bear line. So for those that came in late, we called long here with a beautiful touch and go to this strong level. First thing is reclaiming the VWAP and then getting over the overnight halfback. And then we got to come back to that trend line we talked about. So if you're long, try to stay long. This could be your first, in our group, your first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100-pointer. What do I know? Get up there. Ooh, nice. And that's one reason I recommend removing lines off your chart. Because you might go, I got a so-and-so level right here with triple, quadruple confluence, and I'm going to take a short. I wouldn't. Don't counter short covering. I TP 2 contracts at 10 points, and my runner is, dude, that is perfect, Ryan. I love that. I'm going to screenshot that and put it in the group. Beautiful trading. Hopefully you snag those 10 pointers. Got a single runner back. There's absolutely nothing to do. Remove all the lines from your chart. Don't short this with that. Now, what would be ideal is price pulls into this and makes a new high. Why? Because now we have a new break level, don't we? So we need this to pull in to create structure. Now we'll have structure we can stay behind. But at this point, don't be afraid. You are in the profit. You have a profitable trade. There is absolutely nothing to be worried about. These strong levels tend to perform well. I tend to choose them pretty well. Very nice. Very nice. The only level I thought was really important was the overnight halfback here at this strong range. So let's say you are in an account where drawdown's important. Maybe you TP here and you're out of the trade and done for the day, and you had an amazing trade with no, I mean, you know, you're capturing 35 points plus your other contracts if you had 30, because this will be the big test. This will be the big test. Now, if we get above that, woo! Oh, thank you for a nice, easy day compared to yesterday. I was frustrated. I kept missing the shorts at the, and then I can't short anymore, and I gotta think about longs in the right location. The longs didn't follow through. It was a frustrating day, and I know it's frustrating for new traders. We don't know if it's going to be a full vomit day. That happens typically 1 day a month, maybe 2 days a month. The rest of the time, what we do works beautifully. And it still worked beautifully. You had no big losses unless you created them. Everything should have been paper cut or break even. I'm real aggressive on the break evens, and I'm waiting for that touch and go, which we just got. We do know this overnight halfback against the strong range is going to be really critical. A perfect place to TP, in all honesty, if you were just looking to have a good trade and be done. That's a nice smiley face location to take a profit. Man, what a beautiful push up and then a slap down, but exactly where we expected the slap down to happen. Remember, bears are in control. We are counter. Beautiful entry. Price is struggling right where we thought it would struggle. Will it rotate back onto us? I have no clue. You cannot allow yourself to go from green to red today. If you're green on that trade, I truly recommend just walking. I mean, a lot of headwinds for the bulls. Got to get over this. And then that little trend line is just of interest. And then the gap, you know, filling the gap. Maybe it fills the gap and it vomits down. That is not an unexpected thing. At this point, you have no protection layers. So if this thing pops the strong, and bounces off of it, I think you could then move your stop under the overnight halfback and under the strong range. Certainly looking good, looking good. Oh, my favorite price action. That's why I'll take a day like yesterday for this. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You haven't had a 50 pointer in the group and it gets to a 50 pointer and you want to capture that, I don't blame you. So the overnight halfback was one area of a problem. I thought coming back into this trend line was going to be, and then of course the low here. If you're long, try to stay long. If this is your first 50 pointer, don't be shy to take it. All right, so earlier we talked about if this thing pops the strong range, and depending on what type of account you're in, if you wanted to move your stop behind here, that makes a lot of sense. If that's how you want to play it, or you keep it at break even and let it go. If you're not long, not a horrible place to try a little long, because it is clearing the overnight halfback. Overnight halfback provided a problem. This little trend line, I think, is providing a little bit of problem. Maybe we can get back into the gap here, fill the gap, and get back up over there. Notice we weren't having discussions of, are we going to vomit, or are we going to squeeze 100 points, or we just traded as the levels developed to us. That's all we can do. I thought I gave great advice in last night's battle plan. I said, what do we do? Simple. All we can do is trade setup to setup, never allowing a winning trade to become a loser, never making things worse, and hold a runner just in case. Basics. I love the big vomits, and then I want to be in the turnaround trade. The turnaround trade did not happen yesterday, no matter how hard I tried. Maybe it's today. Looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, there's your first 50 pointer. Now you could, it depends on how you want to play it, Joe. Do you want to stay behind a break level? For example, a person that just having their first 50 pointer right there, I would take it. What an accomplishment, and be done and walk, bask in the glory. But if you've done that before, stay long here. This is what we were trading for yesterday that didn't hit, that hit today. It's the easiest trade to stay in. And if for some reason this becomes another 200 pointer, I won't take the 200. I'm just going to continue to play perfect chess. It's a long ways from that, but bears control. We appear to be in a nice little short covering move. And of course, this is going to be the next difficult trade location. But if you're holding a runner, you just don't care. You could move your stop under the strong range like we talked about here. Still a fine place to do that, because in many cases, we're going to see it come to the top of the strong range, maybe have a bounce, the bottom of the range have a bounce. So you do have a bit of a protection layer if you wanted to be under the strong range. Then when this thing gets back into here and gets back above this strong level, that would have been very difficult, you can move your stop to under the range. Hey, James, we nailed it today. We may not have yesterday. However, if you'd have taken any of those shorts, you did amazing. I just wasn't in them. I was really disappointed about that, but oh well, what do you do? There's 60. Where's 100? 100's got to get out of the range. That's a big move. If people hadn't had a 100 pointer yet, you might have a 100 pointer today. Would not be shocked we go another 30 points. So Wednesday night, we said the Bulls are in control. They're winning the chin-up competition, but their hands are getting slippery. And boy, did they slip. Last night, we said massive squeeze is not far behind. Not that we're trying to time any of that, but knowing where you're at on the chart helps. Okay, this is Real Time George, just doing an update. I'm editing the AM Zoom notes, and we're almost at the 100 points. I mentioned earlier in the group that if they were long, this could be their first 100 pointer. We are almost there. The strong levels have just performed beautifully. Our ranges have performed beautifully. We've got into a beautiful touch and go trade, and all you do is hold, hold, hold. There's nothing else to do. I even encourage you to close down your DOM and leave the house. Let price do what they are going to do. You don't need to be in here messing with your stop. All you need to do is stay out of the way. Okay, here we are coming into the 100 pointer. Depending on where you got long, you are at a 100 pointer. Congratulations, especially if it's your first 100 pointer. What a fantastic day with a beautiful entry. And if you're not a member and you think this type of commentary would help your trading, check us out at microstrader.com. At least get your hands on the battle plan. Come join us on Zoom, and then maybe you'll want to become a full member. Boy, there's my 100 pointer. One more tick. Let's get it. Come on. One more tick. One more tick. This is what we trade for. We wait for those nice big vomits. We look for our opportunity to get long. Sometimes, like yesterday, it just doesn't happen. You know it. And you take break-even trades and you call yourself Mr. Break-Even Trader. And you simply wait till the conditions happen again, and you take the trade. You take your setup, you take your setup, you take your setup, and you hold a runner, you never make things worse. And it's certainly easier to do that when you trade with a group.